check out the content on Brandon with a Y and here on NowayitsBrandyn. NowayitsBrandyn, power to the gamer. Rated E for everyone. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You guys know who it is. It's your guy, NowayitsBrandyn, coming at you guys again with another video for today. How are you guys doing, man? You guys doing well? You guys doing great? You guys doing absolutely stupendously fantastic. As always, guys, we are back right at it with some more Riders Republic today. Right back at it with some more of the Red Bull series here. But before we continue, hey, if you guys can please just consider joining up on the channel membership here. It would be super awesome if you guys supported your boy in this way. But if you don't, that is definitely all right. Just want to let you guys be aware of it. Here on the channel, we do have a new membership program, which is pretty cool. We got some exclusive and custom emojis for you guys to use in the comments section. And you guys also get some pretty cool channel membership badges to show off how long you guys have been a member for. But like I said, that is only if you guys would like to. Definitely would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's just dive right into the video. All right, so for today, we are going to start off with the finish in top 3 in wingsuit events. But at the very top, it says complete big boss or invitational events. So for today's set of sponsor contracts, we will be able to earn progress for more than one simultaneously. But like I always say here on the channel, I like to start with air events first if I can help it, just because they are my least favorite. So for the first contract top 3 wingsuit, we are going to go ahead and go to the Ridge TV Nightwing. And so for this one, just the same as usual. All you want to do is just play this specific event on standard difficulty and do not make it any harder than it needs to be. And you know, feel free to play these on a higher difficulty if you guys are much more skilled at the game, if you have more time under your belt with Riders Republic at this point, or if you're just very comfortable with flying with the wingsuit. Because what I usually like to express on here is if you are more than capable of playing on a higher difficulty, you should definitely do it, just so that way you can still unlock quicker gear and just better gear in general in the game if you haven't already done so. Mainly because whenever we come across future sponsor contracts, it is going to make it way easier if you have faster bikes, faster wingsuits, faster rocket wings, all this stuff. But I mean, for the most part, as I always say, just play it on standard. Just focus on getting 3rd place. You do not have to get 1st or 2nd. It just says top 3 for the contract. So there are no amount of points that you have to get score aside from the top 3 scores on the top left hand side of the corner where it shows the scoreboard. So keep in mind, this is only a 1-run event, so you do have to make sure that you get the amount of points that you need, I would say as soon as possible, just so that way you're not like cramming all these tricks and all these points toward the end of the course, toward the end of the run. Because as you get further down this specific run, it's gonna get a lot more intense with all the trees and with all the other obstacles. But you can definitely make it as simple as you can and try to get as many points as you can toward the beginning, and maybe ride, or rather fly, alongside the mountains or the hills to the left hand side. You might get less points that way just because there's less obstacles, but it is going to be easier if you kind of coast through it toward the end instead of trying to jam pack all these scores toward the end and then getting frustrated, you know, getting a little bit too risky, threading the needle a bit too much, crashing into trees. So just make it easy, play it on standard, send it toward the beginning of the course, and that really should be it. So just play it a few times in a row for this specific sponsor contract, and let's move on to the next one. All right, guys, moving on to the next sponsor contract, we are going to tackle top 3 bike tricks events, finish in top 3 in bike tricks events. So basically for this one, I'm just going to keep it real and say it's the same old, same old. Just go ahead and hit up the Santa Cruz Gravity Fest over here in Canyonlands again, and just play this event on standard 3 times in a row. Just shoot for the bronze. If you want to shoot for top 3, or excuse me, if you want to shoot for second and first place, please feel free to do so. But all you need is a top 3. So there is no difficulty specified, so that is why I am gonna say just play it on standard, make it easy if you would like to. But if you are much more skilled at the game, if you're more confident that you can definitely beat the AI on elite difficulty to help yourself unlock some better gear, please feel free to do so. So pretty plain and simple. Play this on standard and focus on the silver if you would like to, and play it 3 times in a row, just like I said. But I do want to preface another point here, or rather hone in on another point. So for the top 3 wingsuit sponsor contract and for the top 3 bike tricks, neither of these sponsor contracts specifically said to play big or boss events. So if you really wanted to, if you did not want to play the Santa Cruz Gravity Fest, which is this current event, to complete your top 3 bike tricks, you can definitely just play Splintered. And now the reason why I wanted to make this specific distinction is because most of you guys know that whenever it comes to just merely completing or getting maybe even top 3s for bike tricks events, I typically play Splintered, which is the event with all the giraffe costumes, the Force Gear one that is in Sequoia. But the main reason I went with the Santa Cruz Gravity Fest is because at the very top of the list for our sponsor contracts today, it said Big Boss Invitational. So it's set to complete Big Boss or Invitational events, 0 out of 5. So with that in mind, I decided to opt in to play big or boss events, or rather big and boss events, for the bottom 2 contracts that did not specify big or boss events, so that way we can get basically 2 done simultaneously, or rather earn progress for 2 simultaneously. Because if you really think about it, you're going to be playing 5 more events than you would need to if I decided, or if you decided, to play Splintered instead of Santa Cruz Gravity Fest, because you would have to play through Splintered 3 times and get top 3 times in a row on Splintered, and then you would still have to earn progress toward complete big boss or invitational events, especially if you also decided to not play a big or boss invitational event for the top 3 wingsuits. So that is something that you do want to consider whenever you are completing the sponsor contracts. But I mean, honestly, a lot of the big and boss events are super easy. I mean, they are generally more easy than the standard events. And I'm honestly not sure why that is, to be quite honest. They're really not as difficult as Ubisoft probably intended them to be, or rather they're not as difficult as they sound, even though they are labeled big or boss events. Because I'm sure a lot of players are like, why would I want to play a bigger boss event just to complete sponsor contracts that does not specify big or boss events? But I just wanted to make that specific distinction, because I know like some people are probably thinking, well, why would you want to play big or boss events for the bottom 2 contracts for the top 3 wingsuit and top 3 bike tricks if they did not specify big or boss? Well, it's because you can very easily complete these and still earn progress for, as I just said earlier, the very top contract that says to complete bigger boss bike events, or rather bigger boss invitational events. Because remember, the whole purpose of these videos is to show you guys that you can basically speedrun through a lot of these sponsor contracts without really trying. And I like to educate a lot of players on how you can simultaneously get sponsor contracts done without spending too much time on them. whether if it's with how many times you have to play certain events, or how many events you have to play in general, or just with difficulty stuff. So that is pretty much all I wanted to say for that. So that is pretty much it for this day's rotation of sponsor contracts. So let's move on to the next day. Okay, we are going to tackle the new day of sponsor contract rotation here. And look at that, we are just a couple more contracts away from getting our Spectacle Park Red goggles here. So we are going to focus on the top 3 bike race events, just the top 3 bike events at the bottom of the screen. But you can definitely play bike tricks events if you would like to, but we are going to go with Burnt Rubber today, because Burnt Rubber is one of the quickest bike events in the game, and it is quite frankly pretty easy. But simultaneously, we will be completing the bike race combo contract that was at the very top of the sponsor contract list. So for the combo, it does specify in bike race. So it says to get over 10,000 points in a single tricks combo. So in this specific run that I have here for Burnt Rubber, I will be hitting a 10,000 tricks combo. And if you guys would like to follow the same line here, you know, that is why this video is here, so that way you guys can do exactly what it is that I'm doing. And I think I actually crashed right here. Yeah, I do. Excuse me. I totally oversent it, and I totally hit the tree, but that's all good. There is no difficulty specified. The game just says to complete each event in top 3. So as long as you get top 3, play it on standard, it's all good. And then that's exactly why I say to play on standard, so that way we can get these tricks combos just like this one. Boom. So we just got our tricks combo contract done. Bike race combo is now complete, and we still got progress for our top 3. And this is a prime example for the reasoning behind me saying just play the game on standard if you'd like to. Because if we were playing on elite difficulty, and if I crash right there, then I'm probably not going to get top 3. So sometimes it can be pretty hard to get these combos down, to not crash on elite difficulty, and to still earn that progress. So when you're trying to complete more than one contract, for the most part, just play the game on standard. I know I sound like a broken record. I know I am beating a dead horse, but hey, I just like to restate some of the key factors, some of the key tips as it pertains to completing the sponsor contract. So as you guys can see up on the screen, we got the bike race combo contract done while still earning progress for the bottom contract for top 3 bikes. So now for the remaining 2 runs, you can definitely play it on standard still if you'd like to, play it on elite, play it on any difficulty that you are more than comfortable with. But if you just want to get it done hassle-free, get your top 3, then definitely just play this event on standard mode. For the final sponsor contract for today, we have complete different stunts. Now, the 3 I have selected are Canyon Drop Chain, and I also have Hole in the Wall, lastly, Hoodoo's Chase. These 3 specific stunts are the easiest for me to complete for the sponsor contract here. I would also recommend the Leap of Faith that is in, I think, either Mammoth or Grand Teton, but that one can be difficult for some people because that does involve some level of skill with hitting your walk button right before you hit these rocks and prevent yourself from crashing. So for Leap of Faith, there is a penalty for crashing, but with this specific bike stunt, there is no penalty for crashing. All you want to do is just really send it all the way down the line, down the hill. And as for the other 2, they are wingsuit events, but the thing with them are they're pretty close together, and they're really not that difficult, and they're really not that long of stunts to complete. So for the other 2, they might require a couple tries, but for the most part, they are pretty easy. You can definitely take them kind of slow. You don't have to go too fast, but just with how close the last two are together with Hoodoo's Chase and Hole in the Wall, I do recommend those, but be sure to start with Hole in the Wall first, and then you will be able to fly directly to Hoodoo's Chase. But if you so wish to, or rather if you do wish to play something a little simpler that is a little bit of a challenge, but not so much, definitely consider Leap of Faith. I do have some videos here on the playlist where I am playing Leap of Faith. That one is also very convenient because all you have to do is just go over to where it is located and just hit the fast track spot and you will literally be right there. But for the most part, these are the three quickest, the three easiest stunts to complete in the game. They're really not that hard. And then honestly, if you just kind of give it a little bit of time, just practice them, you will easily perfect these three stunts. So they can be a little bit difficult at first, but the thing is, it's like, once you figure them out, then you're going to just rinse right through them. So when you compare these to other stunts in the game that are much longer, you might perfect them, but the thing is they still take quite a bit of time to complete. So when I compare these three specific stunts to other stunts in the game, these are definitely the easiest. I mean, because for the most part, every single stunt in the game is generally pretty difficult. They have some level of difficulty, but when I look at all of them, these three have the least amount of difficulty compared to the rest, and they require the least amount of time to complete, even after perfecting them. So hopefully that makes sense. But that is going to have to do it for the stunts, and just like that, we got our last sponsor contract done for the day. Okay guys, that is going to have to do it for this video. Hopefully it helped you guys out. Hopefully it was pretty informative. I like to have these as informative as I can possibly make them. And if you guys would consider checking out my animation channel at Brandyn with a Y, that would be greatly appreciated. And hey, if you guys could please like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy the content, that would be absolutely stupendously fantastic, guys. Plenty more gameplays here on the channel. Feel free to check them out. But as usual, I will see you in the next one, and cue the outro.